Joe Pasillo and Joe Resinello, and let us go into the breach. Hey, Joe, obviously we're pro-life people, okay? And the main focus, the main thrust of the pro-life movement is abortion, no question about it. But Joe, not for anything, the euthanasia movement is I'm beside myself, because usually you're talking about people who are old, and certainly that's not any sort of a reason to be in favor of euthanasia. But like anything else, it starts in one place and it goes then to a ridiculous extreme. Now you have Canada. I guess it's Canada. Basically killed its first teenager.
Canada, I just read this today, in 2021, executed, and I'm going to call it just that because it is legalized execution, 10,000 citizens in 2021.
Under the name of mercy killing?
Yep. It's called their MAID program, MAID. Most of those people are poor or mentally ill. And the point I want to make with that, isn't that what Nazis did? It's sanitized. It's a way to get rid of people who can't afford their health care.
Well, let's play the clip. Let's play the clip and then we'll break it down.
A 17-year-old has become the first minor to die by euthanasia in Belgium. It's the first application of legislation adopted by the country in 2014. It allows for the doctor-assisted death of minors of all ages if their condition is incurable. The patient is said to have been critically ill, but no other information has been given. Firstly, happily, there are not a lot of minors in a terminally ill condition, he says. Secondly, doctors use a recognized method in that they put the patient into an artificial coma in the end, what we call palliative sedation. Belgium legalized euthanasia in 2002. 2 years ago, it amended the rules to permit doctor-assisted death for minors of all ages, the first country in the world to do so.
So, Joe, let's go from there, okay? Let me ask you this, okay? Because I can hear people out there, oh, you guys are going to get religious. I'm not getting religious, but is there no hope in the world? Is there no understanding of that there might be some meaning in suffering? It's just somebody gets sick, they're incurable, just kill them.
Like a lot of people feel that way. There's a lot of people that say, just because, like you said, redemptive suffering, it comes down to that understanding. But ultimately, it's also coercion. I have listened to a number of these clips out of Canada, and it comes down to people who can't afford healthcare. They're coerced into it. What do I mean by because they have socialized healthcare? Basically, there's cost above what the government is giving them, and they don't have the money. So basically, they're coerced into doing it. And that is horrible. And don't think they don't know that too. It's a way to get rid of people, mentally ill, people who are poor. Also in Europe, and this passed last week, under 12 in Holland. People are like, you're crazy. Look it up. It's now, they say it's very rare. You could legally euthanize someone under 12. Dude, you're crazy. And again, I say this, it's sanitized Nazism. It's sanitized. Oh, they're suffering.
Well, they never want to admit that. They never want to admit the whole eugenics idea is let's get rid of those who can't produce, and we'll make sure we take care of those who can. The only question I have, though, is those who would impose that on us, Joe, do the rules apply to them and their kids, all right, and their families and their friends? Knows when it comes to that is if a George Soros type globalist thinker had a 20-year-old kid who was terminally ill, are they going to allow them to be killed? Do you know where I'm going with that? Like, it's always the rules for you, and we'll get rid of you. And like you said, I'm glad you said that. I'm tired of them being like falsely calling people like us. They call us all sorts of deplorables. You're racist. You're this, you're that, you're fascist, all right? What's more fascistic than this? What's more terroristic than this? What's more utilitarian than this? That's all. They don't like when you compare them to Nazis. But that's the whole idea of the whole, one of the ethos of Nazism was that they took the Darwinian idea, the strong survive. and the weak just have to, just have to go away, even if that's imposed by the state. Because we want a good society of good, healthy, strong, blonde hair, blue eyed German, healthy people. And if you're the little fat kid, well, we're going to find a way to kill you. I mean, that's really where it would go, Joe, because they have this idealized version of the world. And of course, they're the ones that always survive, not you. Final word, Joe.
Joe, you hit it right on the head. Ultimately, the example that you gave, if George Soros' son, say he was of age, wanted to be euthanized, it's his decision. You see, he's not going to be coerced, though. You see, that's what's never talked about, and that's what's happening. Particularly the poor and the mentally ill, because of their circumstances, they are coerced into it. And that's, to be honest with you, and this is a cue for Americans, that's why socialism, when it comes to medicine, is dangerous. We've seen this in England with Charlie Gard. The state determines when and where you get your health care.
I was just going to go there for a second. That's one thing. Now, if you're the person that wants to allow the state to kill your kid, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I don't. You could, again, my heart goes out to if you're a parent and you're not a believer, and your child has a terminal illness. My heart goes out to you. Okay, but here's my question though. You say, okay, that's a choice. I don't agree with that choice, but you say that's a choice. Okay, but what about Christian parents? What about Catholic parents? What about parents who say, no, 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 no. I don't look at the world the way you do. My child, I believe in redemptive suffering. There's a meaning behind this, and you will not kill my child. Then you get a Charlie Gard type situation. Well, regardless of what you say, then we're going to kill your child.
Well,
And
what
we
they'll
don't
say
really
is
care
this.
what you're going to say.
What they'll say is this: I'm not coercing you, but I'm just not paying it.
I'm not paying, and that's where socialized
coercive,
medicine.
and that's where people. That's the missing piece.
Right.
And that window, people, is going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to, and it has. And I'm pointing to examples. Look at the numbers in Canada with MAID, their program. It's increasing. It's exploding.
Right.
It's a way to get rid of people that, one, are a financial burden because of the expensive health care, and two, people, to your point, Joe, that don't produce, the mentally ill, and it will only get bigger. It's dangerous until it's your kid. And eventually, to be honest with you, it will touch everybody.
I agree. And I'm just gonna give you a final word on that. Remember something. It always starts the same. It starts with their reasoning. Extreme cases, terminally ill kids, in this case, a 17-year-old in Belgium. But eventually it will go to, well, your child's autistic. They're never really going to be
100%
productive.
agree.
Your child has Down syndrome. They're never really going to be productive. They're suffering in life. I have an autistic goddaughter, okay? Autistic niece, okay? She's on the spectrum, okay? That means the state will try to convince my sister that she should be killed because she's not going to be productive. Don't think it won't happen, Joe. Don't think it won't happen. All right, we got to hop. Stay tuned for a lot of videos today, both YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you see Joe and I. Like, subscribe, share, follow, do all that fun stuff. We'll see you soon.